can a guy ask you to go shower before you have sex?
Yeah, he can. That's
Okay.
sexy. Like, yes, daddy. Go get clean. Oh, yeah. Please use my shower. I'm glad you find me amusing.
It's just funny the way you said it.
Okay, so what's the deal with daddy? Is that like weird or hot? Like what?
Unbelievable.
I haven't started yet.
All right. Welcome to Unattainable, soon to be the #1 podcast show in the U.S. Glad to have you with us and hope you'll continue to be a part of our family for the foreseeable future. You can watch and listen to our show on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and all the other platforms. And today we have a very special guest, Alexandra, a.k.a. Alex, a.k.a. Ari.
Hey.
What's up? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
That's always such a hard question because I don't know. I don't know who I am, so I don't know what I'm supposed to say. I'm stress eating all the candies in your place right now.
That's funny. Yeah, you've been literally eating everything.
Literally. I had like a full jar of pickles. It was great.
Is that what you do? Like every morning?
Wake up and eat a
you
jar
have
of pickles?
pickles?
Yeah, a full jar. No, I'm kidding. I don't. I think I'd have an ulcer if I I'd literally have like 5 ulcers.
That's funny. Okay, you're a DJ.
I have DJ'd, yes. I haven't really DJ'd so much right now because of COVID.
Since the pandemic.
Yeah, I got into it last November in my hometown in Canada. And it was something that happened really quickly. I fell in love with it and I just got bookings. I started promoting and yeah, I got booked for a big festival like with the Chainsmokers and Diplo in Canada, but all of it got shut down because of COVID. So it was literally like my first year DJing and I probably DJ'd for maybe 6 months.
Yeah, that's a short amount of time, but
yeah.
I'm assuming you're ready. So are you producing right now or what?
I do produce, but I haven't produced anything right now. I'm more focused on other parts of my life, like school, more realistic. I mean, nobody's really making money DJing right now, probably producing, but yeah. So
Let's talk
sorry
about
to
the
disappoint.
other. Oh no, it's all good.
I used to be really cool pre-COVID. Now I'm just like, just a regular person in school.
That's funny.
But I'm interesting for some reason. You
are interesting. That's why you're here.
That's because I was gonna say because I'm here.
Exactly. Which is why I want to bring up the other parts of your life. So okay. What is your current relationship status?
I'm LA dating.
LA dating. Okay. That's a good one.
What does that mean to you, Mo? What does LA dating mean to you?
I was on another
interview the interviewee.
Right, on another episode, one of the girls said, "I'm playing the field," and she said she used the term I forget, and I said, and she basically was saying that she's just seeing people and figuring out her match.
At any one time in LA, anybody who's single is seeing like 3 people at once. There's so many options here. How can you not?
I don't know if that's entirely true, but I know a lot of people do it. And I think in LA that's probably one of the reasons why people
are single
always talk shit about LA.
Oh, okay. But you got to admit, like, LA is like one of those cities. It's like LA, Miami, New York. Like, those are huge cities. They carry certain stereotypes. It's a whole thing. Dating in New York is really hard too.
Yeah, I could imagine. I mean, I think
endless
the
possibilities.
Issue, yeah, so I was talking to somebody yesterday about this, about how when you look at our previous generations, like our grandparents essentially, right?
Yeah.
The norm was you would meet someone and you would essentially think to yourself, okay, I like this person, or you were set up, like whatever the case is, and then you'd learn to fall in love, and you would learn to fight for the relationship. There was no divorce.
Yeah.
There was no option of leaving.
Yeah, there wasn't Tinder. Like, there wasn't endless possibilities at the edge of your fingertips.
So now what happens is people, as soon as things get difficult, as soon as they start to feel different things than they normally do, they run the other way.
Yeah.
Which I think is extremely unhealthy.
But I feel like we've also seen our parents, the baby boom generation, like 65% of them have divorced. So probably that means more of them are still married and unhappy. And we don't want to settle down. Like, our generation does not want to settle down. Like, millennials want to date, and they want to see a lot of people and explore their options. They want to travel the world. And I mean, obviously coronavirus kind of put a big upset in their lives, but yeah, I think that LA, like in LA, there's a lot of people who are extremely talented, extremely good looking. There's people who want to be actors. There's people who want to be musicians, models. So from a very vain perspective, a lot of people don't want to settle down because there's just so many options.
But you don't think that that's an issue?
I think that from like a traditionalist standpoint, it is. Yeah, I think I don't know. It depends. What's an issue in regards to, do we want to procreate our population?
The issue with regards to self-awareness. I think nobody ever stops to learn about themselves, what an actual relationship is, and what it means to fight for one.
But do you have to be in a relationship to learn about yourself, or can you do that while exploring other options or being single?
Well, I suppose it goes both ways. However, when you're in a relationship, then you learn about how to be in a relationship. And I think what happens a lot of times is that when two people start dating each other, right? And when you have that many options, you never really sit down and think to yourself, okay, so how can I make myself better? Mm-hmm. It's always like, what is wrong with this person? Mm-hmm. And do I have the opportunity to run away and find something else?
I mean, I've often said that in the age of Tinder and Bumble, everybody has so many options, but we're all kind of more secluded in a sense.
What does that mean?
That's a good, that's a good follow-up question, because I don't really even know what that means.
Okay.
But I just feel like we're all, we live in an individualistic society. And on top of that, all of us are like glued into our phones and our Instagram feeds, and so even if there was overlap before social media, I think now social media is tailored to whatever we want to see, and that sort of closes our worldview off even more. And then we're only seeing certain friends' story posts because of an algorithm, or we're only seeing certain. I think Tinder works on an algorithm too, so we're only seeing certain people's Tinder profiles. And when there's just so many options, sometimes that even removes us from going out and meeting someone at the bar, because we'll just sit at home on our phone and swipe and message somebody.
Is that what's happening with you?
Wow, I feel personally attacked here. No, I don't go on Tinder. I like to meet people organically. It is kind of hard to meet people organically this year.
Are you on Tinder?
I think when I first came down, when I first came down to LA, I went on Tinder, and I put my Instagram bio, and I was like, if you're keen, message me on Instagram. And then
that is
I
crazy.
just like,
you're the third girl who said that.
Really? Oh,
that is insane to me. I don't understand it.
This is dating in 2020. Yeah.
So what's the purpose? I don't understand.
Well, because I know what I look like. I can see what they look like. I don't have to sit there with a sore thumb saying no, no, no to like all of the no's in my area. And if I think they're cute, then they go into the DMs, and yeah, well, I mean, if they think I'm cute, they're in the DMs, and then if I think they're cute, I'll reply, and plus I can see their pictures there.
But doesn't that create an unbalanced dating relationship?
Absolutely, it works in my favor.
Yes. Well, not just your favor. It
it's the
just
age of the
makes the
women,
guy
yeah.
put all the effort and the girl none the effort.
I've messaged guys on there. I've messaged girls on there as well. I just choose not to spend my time sorting through Tinder matches, and I do put the ball in other people's court.
Okay, well, you're bi. So
that's
in
a whole
your
other
case,
thing, yeah,
so
yeah.
now this is where it becomes interesting is that do you act the same way towards women?
Uh-huh. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If there's a girl who's cute, I'll be like, "Hey, I'm here from Tinder." I'll do it too. There's no shame. I could put the I'll put the I don't think gender is really a thing.
Right. But I guess more so my question is, does your demeanor change in who is coming onto you?
Yeah, I
whether it's
think
a
more.
guy or a girl.
I think I'm more of like a guy in a relationship with a girl. Like I will pursue them, or like I'm not scared to do any of that.
Right.
Yeah.
So you would pursue a girl, but
Did
a guy
I just
has
call
to
myself
pursue.
a tot?
I don't know if that particularly
I
qualifies as
kind of
that.
am a top a little bit.
Are you? but not with a guy.
With the guy, it kind of just depends. Yeah, typically not. No, I'll let the guy do the work.
Okay. Have you ever been in a threesome relationship?
No, I think that's weird.
You think so?
I do, yeah.
So you would be with so you would only be with one person. You wouldn't be with two.
So you know what's so funny? I was telling a friend this, like I've already got the next like 10 years of my life sorted out, except for all the details. But if I were, right, no, but if I were to settle down with somebody, I'd want us to have like an ethically non-monogamous relationship. I wouldn't say that that door is completely open, like we're not openly seeing other people, but that door is slightly ajar. So
Okay.
well,
hold on.
This is
You
why
gotta
I'm here.
you gotta
This is why I'm
define
here.
you gotta define all of this. What does all this mean?
Well, okay. So I think that there's a lot of research out there. You can watch this Netflix documentary called Explain. There's an episode on monogamy, and they basically talk about how humans evolved to be non-monogamous till like land and property rights came about. But I don't think I could be monogamous for my entire life. I think that I would like to explore opportunities as they come. Like I'm not saying I'm gonna go out and be like a raging slut, but
Okay. Are you creating a whole new definition from being in an open relationship?
yeah, maybe.
Or is it the same thing?
Maybe because I don't want like a fully open relationship. And mind you, like I think open relationships. Have you ever been in an open relationship?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. But so it's kind of subjective. It's whatever that couple wants it to be. Because they set their own.
Correct.
They set their own definition of what an open relationship is. Like an open relationship could be a hall pass, where okay, well, I'm sick of you. Here's your hall pass for the night. Go have fun at a party. Mm-hmm. Or it's like, you know what? I know this girl from my golf club or something, and she's really cute. I want to take her out on a date, or they bring someone else in. It kind of just depends. I don't think I'm creating a new definition. I think that just would be the definition that would work for me.
Okay, but does it apply to the partner as well?
I would hope so, because I think it would be really weird if I was the one going out and frolicking around and gallivanting with all these other people over the course of years and years. And they were just hanging out at home. Like I'd want it to be something that they enjoyed as well.
Uh-huh. Okay, so would that mean that then you two are in a relationship and you get to have? So would you be going on dates, or is it just sexual?
I would never just use someone for sex. I would never do that. It would be like some sort of connection that supersedes anything just physical.
So there is an emotional connection attached to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is kind of dangerous to be emotionally invested with more than one person.
Right.
But see, the way I see it is I'm bisexual, so I can't, if I settle down with a girl, I will probably never be fully satisfied with a girl, and likewise, I'd probably never be fully satisfied with a guy.
Okay.
I'm a new age woman. Clearly, hey.
I love how people call themselves these things as if. See, I look at it as a completely different in a completely different way, which is, I think our generation and the generation underneath us, and the ones coming up, are learning things that would create a lack of commitment in society, which is ultimately unhealthy.
For sure. Like I think I even have a really bad lack of commitment. However, I think I've always had this lack of commitment. Even when I was like in high school and I first started dating, I was dating this guy. He was like my high school, like the first love of my life. And I like, after a while, I think I accidentally, not accidentally, but I hit on his friend, you know, like
Sure.
I'm just like a flirt, like I always have been. And I don't know if I adopted these societal norms that are now popular, or if I had always had this side of myself that was kind of more free natured and didn't really want to settle down. I mean, okay, side note, I have been engaged and I was in a 3-year long relationship.
Right.
And we sort of, you know, from the outside looking in, it was like very perfect, you know, white picket fence, et cetera, et cetera. So maybe, I mean, it's not like I can't do it, but maybe I've sort of kind of gone through that and realized I got bored in it and I want to do something more authentic to who I am.
But see, that's my problem, is that what you describe as lack of commitment from an early age, right, was ultimately has become a part of you that you've given into as opposed to work on. And that's not just you. I think the society has essentially become that way.
Yeah, because it's okay to do it nowadays.
Exactly. So and that's where the problem comes in, is that people starting to see it as an advantage in their life, as opposed to, oh, hey, like maybe this is something I should work on, and maybe there is a way for me to become more committed to the relationships I'm in.
So you're classifying this as a problem. However, if this makes people happy and they're living their more authentic selves, then if people in society being happier is a result, is it really a problem?
Well, I don't know. It depends. You go to a store and it makes you happy to steal something. Is it a problem?
Well, but you're hurting someone when you steal from. Are you necessarily
You're hurting somebody in a relationship.
Right, but what if they both agree to that, and what if that's what they both want because it makes them happier?
See,
I mean,
that's a tricky
you're
one.
not going to go date, like, I'm not going to go date someone. I mean, I'm sure there's girls who do this, and guys, pardon me, but I'm not going to go date someone who's like extremely into being monogamous and who really wants to settle down and be serious with me, because I just can't do that. So that, but if I did go for someone who had that preconceived notion that we would be together and we would only see each other, then I would be hurting that person.
Yeah, because you essentially have become accustomed to the fact that, hey, I'm not for commitment.
Yeah.
I'm not for monogamy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but you cannot tell me that when you were engaged to your boyfriend, that nobody got hurt in that relationship. I mean, somebody must have gotten hurt.
But they didn't get hurt because of my lack of commitment, or what? We got hurt because the relationship ended.
Precisely my point. But it ended for a reason, though.
Yeah. He was an alcoholic. It was that was nothing.
I understand. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying there weren't other reasons. I'm just saying that when you are in a relationship,
yeah,
regardless of how you look at the clarity of what you tell someone on what it is that you want, somebody, if that relationship ends, ultimately somebody is going to get hurt.
Of course, yeah, but it didn't end because either of us were non-monogamous, or nobody cheated on each other.
Sure, no, I understand that. I was just making a point that saying that there is nobody hurting ultimately at the end of a relationship is, I mean, those situations don't really come up that often. You know, somebody ultimately does.
So it
But
sounds like you're not for non-monogamy. Sounds like you kind of want our society to be more, committed. You think that it's healthier for society if people are committed to each other and they have one partner and.
um, I think my main issue with society and how dating has become is lack of self-awareness, which I talk about a lot. I believe that if it's great right now that you, for example, have clarity in what it is that you want, because then once you do go in relationships, then you're honest with the people that you're around, and with your partner, you say, okay, this is how this is gonna go,
Yeah.
and I want to be clear that this is how I am, this is what I expect, right? And so for as long as there is that honesty, then the other person can make the choice whether they want to be a part of that or not, right? And I think a lot of times in our society, unfortunately, that doesn't exist. The lack of self-awareness essentially is going to end in somebody getting hurt in a relationship.
You know what? You're right. Because like when I first started dating when I was 19, dating like on Tinder and stuff like that, like not in high school. I remember seeing these guys back home, and they were very redneck, but you know what, they were, though, a lot of them were fuckboys, and I would go and I would date them, and I'd be like, I really want to date these guys, and in my head I was thinking, I was really young and naive, and I thought, okay, well, I'm gonna get married and I'm gonna have kids by the time I'm 24. I'm 26 now and I'm still single. but but no, and then they would like we would get close and we would get intimate, and then they wouldn't talk to me. They would like full on ghost me. And then I kind of hardened after that. And then I realized that maybe what I was looking for at that time was monogamy, and the roles were kind of reversed in that sense.
Sure.
And yeah, it did hurt at the time because I was 19 and I thought I needed to find a husband.
Yeah, which I think one of the things that people don't take into account is the ripple effect that that essentially your past relationships have,
Yeah.
On both people, and that's why the society has become the way that it's become. Everyone was affected a certain way in their past relationship, and that's what they carry to their next one.
Yeah.
The defenses that you the walls that you put up.
Yeah, like if you got cheated on.
Yeah, things that you get defensive towards because you were talked to a certain way, or things, whatever that essentially happened in your past relationship. And so I think and that's also another reason why I always think to myself that it is extremely important for people to give time between going from one relationship to another. People talk about like rebounds, and they constantly talk about how having a rebound is like a positive thing, but it really isn't.
No, like people need like at least like depending on how long the relationship it was and how long you were invested, you need like 6 months to 18 months to heal from that. You cannot rebound. You can't rebound. It's not fair to anybody, including yourself.
Yeah, precisely. Okay, so have you been hooking up with anybody during quarantine?
Quarantine's been like 9 months long. Of course I have.
Oh, some people.
I mean, I've been really safe about it. I mean, kind of. But you know what? See, unpopular opinion. I am 26 years old. Only 1,200 people in the U.S. have passed away while having COVID, aged 20 to 30. You can look this up online. It's on the CDC website. So, quite frankly, coronavirus, in my opinion, is not really hurting the younger people, especially kids. It's not affecting kids. It's not affecting most teenagers. There's outliers. There's people with comorbidities. But I mean, if I lived with somebody who was over the age of 65 and had comorbidities, I would not be as free and, traveling and going out as much as I am. I would be, more hunkered down and safe about it. But when I go out, I wear a mask, I wash my hands. In August, I went to Europe, and I go to Europe every summer. My family's from there, and I got to go to a couple more countries because everything was so cheap. And I had a couple layovers. So, I mean, in total, I've been to like 6 countries during the coronavirus.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know. So for me, like, it hasn't really affected me as much.
So you're the one they should come after. So you've
mean,
been passing it all over the place.
I don't hang out with anybody
I'm joking.
who
I'm
isn't
joking.
going out as well.
The reason
So-
why I asked was because you said you weren't on Tinder, or essentially you didn't really enjoy being on Tinder and like meeting people off there, and you said like you'd rather meet people out. That's why I asked if you were hooking up with people during quarantine, because then where would you meet guys?
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
No, but I mean, I've met people like in bars and that sort of stuff. I mean, restaurants were still open this summer. I went to Ibiza this summer, London, Paris. So people are still like very much going out. I think it's people who have comorbidities or like who live with people who are older that aren't going out. But the population who has sort of been safe, but you know, what everybody else is kind of problematizing them, but people who have been going out, I have been hanging out with that group, that population of people, if that makes sense. This is really bad, but
Okay, but so here's my question though.
Mission of guilt.
Right. So you're at a restaurant and then you're eating with your friend, right? A guy sees you from the other table, thinks you're cute. What does he do?
What does he do? I don't know. I mean, like, I'll be honest
Or what
with you.
should he do to ask you out, essentially, is the question.
What should he do?
Yeah.
At a restaurant? But it depends. Like, am I in a restaurant with another guy or...
Let's say you are with another guy. Let's say you're with another
He
girl.
should not.
Give me two scenarios.
He could give me like the eyes, you know, like, oh, I think you're cute eyes from across the room. But like, if I'm with another guy, I would look down on him if he came in and introduced himself.
So shouldn't come up, regardless of who that guy is. What if the guy is gay?
Oh, if he's gay, come hang out. Like,
Okay, so if the guy is gay, come up, say what's up.
you know what though? I have not been in a situation where I've been at a restaurant and someone's openly hit on me. The couple of times I have been at restaurants, it's with friends or I was on a date. So I probably wouldn't entertain that. I mean, pre-COVID is different. It's like a whole other like universe. But yeah, I haven't gone out single and just meandered about unless I was with friends. And if I'm typically with friends, I don't really entertain anybody. But you can tell if someone's into you because they'll start looking at you quite a bit, or they'll watch you walk to the
I
bathroom.
don't know. You're very confusing. I'm
an enigma. That's why I'm here.
You're very confusing.
Okay, how so? Let me clarify.
I just think your vibe could be misleading at times. Okay, full disclosure. When you and I met the first time when you started talking to me, I thought you were hitting on me.
Oh my gosh, see, that's what people think. It's my personality. I'm bubbly, I'm outgoing. I am like this with guys, girls, old, young. Like people think I'm flirty. That's what it is, but it's part of my personality. I got it from my parents. My parents are very much like that too, and I don't know if it's because they're Greek or what, but yeah, I don't know.
But you said something. Okay, so you said something that's stuck in my head.
What did I say?
You said I like guys to just come and grab you and kiss you.
Okay, but we were playing.
We weren't playing anything.
I
you
didn't
just
come
said
up
we
to
were
you
talking
and
about.
tell you this. Hey,
No.
my name's Alexandra. I like when guys come up to me and grab me and kiss me. It was not like that.
It's out of context for sure.
Yeah, we were playing Never Have I Ever, right?
No, we weren't playing anything. We were just having conversations about like different scenarios of what.
What we've like making the when we making the first moves and that sort of stuff. Yeah.
So I guess and this is what I'm saying is what makes it confusing is that if you are flirty towards a guy, right, and if I take that the wrong way, like for example, for the sake of this conversation, let's say when you and I met and the first time you talked to me, I thought you were flirting with me and I grabbed you and kissed you and you had no intention of that.
The first time we met, that would escalated quickly. That'd be aggressive.
I mean, but that's what I'm saying. Like, what
should we give some context as to where and how we met? Or
no. My question is that what does a guy supposed to do if they feel that you are flirty?
Okay, but I think that if it's the first time we've ever met and he thinks I'm flirting, he should be like, I think you're super, if he's obviously it's mutual attraction. He's like, I think you're super cute. Like, what's your number? I'd love to take you out sometime outside of this specific environment.
Okay.
And then if it's more like, he's a good friend of yours and you guys clearly like each other, but you haven't said anything and you're all hanging out and you're drinking and it's kind of like a casual thing.
Sure.
And you have a moment together. If he just grabs you and kisses you, then he'll know if she's into you. Right? Because she's either going to kiss you back or be like, what the fuck, dude? Like, let's just be friends, So I don't know. It's just, I'm very much like that. Like, if I want it, I see it, I got it.
I think with a lot of guys, that's where the problem comes in, is that they don't want that. Not only they don't want that rejection, but it's also the fear of being rejected to begin with, because nobody feels good about themselves after that.
I've gotten really good at dealing with rejection, so I just like shoot my shot.
I wouldn't. I mean, I can't
just throw
possibly
a bunch of like things at a wall, see what sticks. It's you gotta go out and do it.
Really, you do that a lot?
No, not a lot. I mean, like. But no, I mean, like in my dating history, looking back, yeah, I've shot my shot. I've shot my shoe. I can't even say that. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah. And a lot of times it's worked. Maybe not right initially after. I've had someone tell me back home, they're like, nobody's ever come after me this hard. And then like 3 months later, they were single and they were like, hey, what's going on? And I'm like, well, I'm not in my hometown anymore, but
right.
Yeah.
When I'm back.
I don't know. That sometimes like those ships have sailed already. When you're like into someone like a lot and then they're not into you and then they come around, you're like, that was a couple months ago. Like, so 3 months ago, I'm not really there anymore.
Do you reply to random guys and girls on your DMs?
But not all of them. Most maybe 10%.
So what do you look for when you reply, or when you decide to? When you're trying to decide?
So initially, if there's because on Instagram, if someone sends you videos or something or pictures, I won't open those because a lot of times it's just like dick pics. Yeah, right. It's terrible. Yeah. Or anything like super creepy. But if they say something funny or like relevant to my story post or to the post that I made, and if it makes me laugh, then I'm like, yeah, for sure. And then if they've got, I don't know, we all live in such a vain world. If they've got cute pictures, I'm there,
Do dick pics ever work?
No. Ew.
I don't know why guys do it.
No, I'm tempted to block them, but then I lose a follower. So
I want to find the girls who think it does work, because I don't understand.
I get a lot of Eastern European girls asking me to pay for their OnlyFans too. I don't know.
Really?
I think it's just the algorithm set up.
Right. Yeah. That's
I get a lot
probably
of
what
that
it is,
too.
for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. Yeah. That's just those are just spam.
Back when I was DJing, I used to promote my posts, and that's when I got like the worst DMs.
Right. Yeah.
Now it's more just people that come across my page. So.
Have you ever met a guy who slipped?
The person who invited me to where I met you. That's how that happened. It was totally a DM thing. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's the whole reason why we're friends. Like, if that person ever DM'd me, I wouldn't be sitting here in front of you right now.
Wow. Huh. Interesting.
Or have met, the other people.
Right.
All those other people there. Yeah.
That's funny. That is hilarious.
Yeah.
So you don't
actually. So let's just go there for a second, because that person DM'd me, invited me to a party. I met a whole bunch of people at that party. That one of those people at that party invited me to their birthday. I met more people at that party.
Right.
And then, they invited me somewhere else. And I'm just like, so honestly, I don't know. I mean,
it works for you.
It worked. Yeah.
Yeah, it works for you.
Yeah.
And I think personally you're a lot more outgoing than most women.
Yeah, for sure. I think that rubs people the wrong way sometimes too. They're like, why is she talking to me?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. When you started talking to me, I didn't particularly think. I was just thinking multiple different things, but I didn't particularly think
that I was hitting on you. What else were you thinking?
Well, no, I was thinking to myself, because what you said to me at that moment was like, oh, maybe this person is like genuinely wondering, like what you're asking is what you actually want to know about, as opposed to you're flirting. So like I was thinking multiple things in my head. But
I don't remember what I even said to you.
You said you look like you've been through a lot.
I didn't. What?
Yeah.
Oh no, but that's because you were like, oh yeah, I remember that on the way to Vaughn's. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were like in a mood though.
I wasn't. I was just like sitting there. I don't know what I was. I was like eating or something. I don't know what I was doing.
I feel like there's no way that this is gonna come across as in context.
I mean, it doesn't really matter. But my point is that no part of me thought, oh, this girl is like weird. Why is she talking to me?
Oh,
you know what I
that's
mean?
good.
Yeah. No, I never think that about anybody really.
That's good.
But I suppose some people might.
Yeah, I think it's the people who are like introverted who just don't understand that that's a different way of living, going out there. But I mean, that being said, I am fairly introverted as well. I'm Gemini, so I've got the dual nature. Sometimes I'll go out and I'll like love to talk at a party, and then sometimes I'll be tired of talking and just want to hang out by myself and not even talk to anybody.
Yeah, you're what they call an ambivert.
Ooh, okay.
You're both an introvert and an extrovert. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Have you ever slept with a guy or a girl on a first date? I'll take that as a yes.
Has anybody not ever done that? I mean, I don't know.
Some people don't.
I feel
Some
like if you're
do.
20 years old right now, 20 to 30, like it's been very, it's okay to do that. I think when I was younger, it wasn't even like I wasn't so okay. Like I would never have thought to have done that. But now it's kind of just like, I mean, and it depends. Like I've met someone at a party and then we've gone on a first date together. Right. And is that considered a first date? Does a first date have to be the first time you're meeting someone? I've done that too,
the first date would be, yes. So the first date would be the first time you meet someone.
Yeah. I mean, I'm very much like a free spirit. I think that I do like follow social norms, and of course we all have to abide by that. My undergrad was in sociology, so but yeah, like I don't slut shame. I don't think differently of someone who's hooked up with someone else on a first date. So I mean, of course, I've done it. Does it always work out well in your favor? No. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's better to wait. But then again, like how long do you wait? Because sometimes if you wait too long, people are like, oh, well, they don't put out, or they're a prude, or they don't like sex. You know, like it raises a whole other host of questions.
It does. I mean, I had this thing where I didn't sleep with the person I was dating for.
I remember you
for
telling
2
me
to
about
3
this.
months.
Yeah, 2 or 3 months isn't that long.
I mean, it's a significant amount of time.
But did you do anything else? Did you make out?
We just made out, yeah.
But did you use your hands?
No, nothing. I mean, she was trying. She was trying hard.
And you were just like,
but
no?
I was like, hey, no, like, we can't do this.
But why? What was the reason?
I just didn't. I wanted to create an emotional connection before I create a sexual one, because I'm pretty confident in my sexual
I wish everybody did. I wish, of course, yeah, no, but I wish everybody did that. Like, I wish everybody created an emotional connection. But sometimes, while creating a sexual connection, you create an emotional connection. Sometimes, while creating that sexual connection, you realize there is no emotional connection.
I think for me personally, anyway, I think the sexual connection creates confusion, because if you have really good sex with someone,
lust is not love,
and not only you confuse yourself into thinking that you have certain feelings, because affection is not love and admiration is not love. And so if physically you're attracted to someone, then you know you're physically attracted to them. You don't need to have sex with them in order to solidify that you're attracted to the person.
I know, but we're like human creatures, and like there's literally scientific evidence that shows that when we embrace someone and we cuddle with them naked, like our pheromone levels go up and our
100%.
dopamine levels go up. So I think that to like restrict that, and I mean, what better way to cuddle naked with someone than to have sex? But
see, that's where it becomes confusing.
Yeah.
Because then if you're trying to figure out if this person is right for you or not. See, I'm talking about long-term relationships. I'm not talking about a 3 months.
I'm scared of long-term relationships.
No, but what I'm saying is that's where it becomes confusing, because then you no longer know the difference between whether you like this person because they are who you want to be dating, or you like them because you have this physical connection and sexual connection with.
So let me tell you a story, and I'm really curious to hear your input because I don't quite understand this. So this is a little bit about myself. It's kind of personal, but I was in Europe and I met this guy, and on Tinder we went on a first date, and I already we had talked a little bit prior to, and it's really funny because I was kind of going on some dates.
Okay.
I might have been seeing 2 people at once.
Uh-huh.
But I went on this first date with this one guy. Let's call him John.
Okay.
And we kind of hit it off. It was like, whatever. It was just more like something to do. He was cute. Both of these guys were very cute. The one, John, I kept kind of seeing him off and on while I was there. The other one was someone that I'd matched with, and I wanted to meet up with him. Let's call him Ben.
Sure.
So I was hanging out with I was hanging out with John. There we go, John.
I'll beep that out. Don't worry about it.
I was hanging out with John, and we kind of had like a little bit of a lull. Like we had gone on some dates and stuff. And then this other guy, Ben, he's like, hey, let's hang out. So we hang out. We had an amazing date. And like, I don't know what it was, but like the chemistry was just on. We sat across from each other, and like the banter was good. And we were just like so into each other. And it was quarantine. Like it was not full quarantine, but everything was, there was a curfew, pardon me. So everything was shutting down at like 10. So he's like, well, why don't we just go hang out at your place, pick up some wine and just like watch a movie or something. We got there, you know, he kissed me, one thing led to another. We had like, we did hook up. We had a really nice night together. And you know, he was just like on me, like white on rice. Like he was like cuddling me all night. He was like kissing me. He's like saying all this stuff about me. Like, you're so beautiful, like this and this and this. And then the next day I was just kind of like, okay, bye. Like, I didn't really know what to think. I wasn't really processing it. I ended up hanging out. The other guy wanted to hang out, John. So me and John hung out, and I was due to leave to go to Paris for a little bit because I'd never been, and like I said, everything was cheap. So I was going to go down there for a week, and I thought we would continue talking. Me and John. We ended up getting really, really close. Like the week before I left, we spent like pretty much every single day together. And when I left, like I said, I thought we would continue talking, and he just kind of ghosted me. It was like too much for him that I left, and we got close and left.
Okay.
But who ended up, and the other guy, Ben, did want to hang out again, and I just kind of blew him off because I didn't really want to get emotionally connected to one person and see someone else. And I felt kind of bad because it was kind of like a one-time thing. But when I was in Paris, he was the one who was talking to me that entire time.
Ben.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Ben was talking to me that entire time. I had to go back to London, and then I didn't even really see John. I told him I'm back, but we didn't hang out. But me and sorry,
John,
you're gonna have to beat this out. But we got really, really, really close, like much closer than me and John got, much closer than I had gotten with anybody since my engagement ended in the last 2 years.
Okay.
And we spent like a week together. And it was one of those things that just kind of like snowballed. And then I left because I had to go back home. I had to go back home to North America. So, but the weird thing is that I initially blew this guy off for somebody else that I thought I liked. I mean, I did develop a connection with that first person, but the second guy is probably the closest I've ever been to being in love again.
Okay. Let me make sure that I'm getting.
It was really hard for me to like get the names
correctly.
Right.
Okay. John is the guy you hooked up with first.
Uh-huh.
And you spent some time with.
Yeah.
You were talking to John.
Yeah.
While you were talking to Ben. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What city were you in with John?
London. Let's put a little, so basically the first time I was in London, I was, or not the first time ever, but that first little bit, it was all about John, and I hung out with, Ben once.
During the time you were hanging out with John.
Yeah.
At that point, you hadn't developed any feelings for John yet.
No, when I went on that first date with, Ben, we hadn't really.
And sexually, you hadn't done anything. You had done something sexually.
We did, yeah, okay. Yeah. I felt really bad that week.
So you were sexual with John. You were dating John.
I wasn't dating him yet. We had just hooked up, and I was just kind of like, I don't know. I felt weird about it.
Okay, sure.
And this other guy had been talking. So I matched with them both at the same time, and they wanted to hang out. It just happened to like a timing thing where I hung out with
Sure,
Ben.
sure. Okay, so you're trying to figure out who you're more interested in.
I'm going to hell.
No. I mean, it's like the final episode of Bachelorette. So, then you go on a date with Ben. And then what happens with Ben? There's no connection, or like
no,
what?
The connection was like fire.
There was connection.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was like physical connection, emotional connection.
Ben is from Paris?
No, both of them are from London.
Both of them are from London.
But I ended up leaving to Paris for a week and then came back to London.
Okay, so neither of them were with you when you were in Paris?
No.
Okay.
No.
But you're talking at that point to...
Well, so when I left, when after I went on that one date with Ben, I didn't really after it, I just went back to John because I was like, you know what? The connection was good, but like, I'm just going to commit to this other guy.
Uh-huh. So you're no longer talking to Ben, or you're still talking to Ben on the phone?
No, we didn't really talk. He asked to hang out a couple times and I kind of just blew him off.
Okay.
And
When you say blew him off, you just ignored him? Is that what you're saying?
no, I was just like, I'm busy, or I already made plans.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Got it. So respectfully, you basically told him no.
Summer in Europe.
Sure. So you're hanging out with John at this point. Now, how long is all this going on? Like, what's the timeline?
Like a month.
So, okay, you're hanging out with John for a month. In the beginning of that month, you go on a date with Ben, keep hanging out with John, and then John stops talking to you.
Yeah, like the minute I left, I was planning on, like, you know, I was going to go to Paris, I was going to come back, and I was even thinking like me and him could go to Greece and see my family, not to introduce him, but just like...
Did you tell him that?
Yeah, I did.
Okay,
and he was totally on board for it. He was so keen. And then...
He was on board saying he was on board?
Yeah, no, he was like 100%, like, let's do it. Like, go to Paris, and then when you come back, we'll figure everything out. But then pretty much the day I left to Paris, I didn't really hear from him.
When you say I didn't hear from him, did you message him and then he ignored you? Or
He's like, yeah, he kind of like, it was just like weak replies, kind of blew me off. And I was getting a little bit confused. And then I kept trying to make an effort to talk to him and call him. And, he always came up with an excuse. And then he was kind of like, this is too much for me. Like, I need
he said it's too much.
I need to focus on myself. I'm going through therapy. Like I need to cut all ties. He's like, I've taken my Tinder profile down. I'm going to be a celibate, is what he said.
Is there any part of you that thinks that he was telling the truth?
At first I was like, wow, what a fuckboy move. Like, you're just full of bullshit. Like, you just wanted your cake and to eat it too. But I've since talked to him, and he's a friend of mine now. But yeah, he was going through some stuff. Like,
Okay, so he was telling the truth.
Yeah,
okay.
He was, yeah.
So you come back to London. Connection with John is gone at that point.
Yeah, but while I was in Paris, Ben was the one talking to me almost every single day. I remember one night, I talked to him till like 4 a.m. while I was in Paris.
Right.
Yeah.
So you come back, and now London Ben is all over Alexandra.
Yeah, he's like, I want to hang out with you before you go to North America. Like, he ended up just staying on my Airbnb the entire time.
Okay. How long was that?
It was about a week.
Okay, so now you guys are hooking up for about a week, and then you come back to the States.
Yeah. Well, I went back to Canada initially at that time because I'm Canadian.
Right. Yeah, we'll consider that a part of the States. Too.
Yeah, no.
So then, okay, so now you're suggesting that the sexual, but you had sexual relationships with Ben as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so initially you brought this up. You said you want to know my opinion about.
Yeah. Because
what?
It was just so. The second guy, I still talk to him every single day.
So Ben.
Yeah, I still want to see him. I still, think about him tons. I still think that, like, I actually did fall in love with him. But it's weird because it was just a short little time. We got really close really quick. But it's kind of weird for someone who's not committing. Like, I've, in my head and emotionally, I feel like I've committed in some way to this person. But I'm in no way committed to them at all.
Okay.
I'm in LA. Like I'm seeing some girl here. Like,
Yeah, I mean, you
he knows about it.
You had a purely physical connection with this guy.
So can someone not commit but commit in a non-committal way? Is this so? It's like what's your interpretation of all of that?
No, you're not shape or form for commitment. in no way you're going to.
But
live that life.
I do fall in love with people.
Well, I mean, define falling in love.
You just think about them every day, and you maybe hope one day you'll end up with them, and
admiration, attraction, obsession. Yeah.
Fascinating.
I wouldn't call those love.
Fair enough. Yeah. Do you think I'm incapable of love just because I'm incapable?
No, I don't think anybody is incapable of love. I think everybody is capable of love at some point, but I think we need to know what that is.
Uh-huh.
And I think a lot of times people confuse their feelings with what love actually is.
Yeah.
I describe love as something that's unconditional.
Yeah.
That you're willing to give it regardless of what you're getting in return.
So if you dated this girl and you were in love with her and she's like, okay, well, if you're unconditionally in love with me, can I go hang out with this other girl tonight? Would you still love her?
So and that's the thing. I think people put that as if like your love will go away, because the emotions that you're feeling at that point is not a lack of love or otherwise. Is jealousy, possessiveness, right? All these things that you start to feel is feeling of possibility of losing someone, right? Because let's talk about what happens, right? You say, hey, so-and-so, I'm in a relationship with you, I've been with you, we live together, like whatever the case is, right? I'm going to leave and I'm going to go be with somebody else and have sex with this other person, right? What am I thinking in my head? Okay, is she gonna fall in love with this person? What is happening? Is she sharing these things that were only mine?
Yeah, I think that if you guys do get to that point, you certainly have to be very comfortable that person's going to come back to you.
And that's where, and also the possessiveness has a lot to do with it, because the reality of it is, if you're sexually comfortable, like a really good example of it is, to make it as simple as possible, is if you're having food, you're having dinner with someone, right? And a friend of you is sitting over there, I'm in a relationship with you, and you're sitting across the table from me, and your friend says, can I have some of your fries, right? I'm not gonna get mad at her asking for your fries and you giving your fries, because I don't feel possessive towards the fries. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. What I do feel possessive towards is you as a person and what you share with me and what I feel should be only mine.
I think that in order for any of that to work, and like any sort of dating style that I'm sort of adhering to, you have to get rid of those notions of possessiveness and that someone is yours. You have to kind of see them as that person is sharing a part of them with you, and you're privileged enough to and lucky enough to be able to see that part of them. But it's in no way something that's just like that they're obligated to do, or that they have to do. It's just something that you're lucky enough to experience, and it doesn't have any boundaries, or sorry, not boundaries, but it doesn't have any limitations in the sense where they can only love you, and that's the only love that they can give in a romantic way.
Yeah, which ultimately comes down to finding a person who has the same understanding as you.
See, and it's interesting, because then people are like, well, society has deemed that a successful relationship is when you marry someone and you have a house together and you have kids together, and you have like that white picket fence, et cetera, but that definition of love doesn't apply to so many different people.
Can you only be friends with a guy who you regularly hook up with?
I don't think I see, and I can't do that.
See, that's what's so strange to
I
me
know.
now.
I can't have casual sex with somebody. I have to be emotionally invested. Like, if they're not texting me good morning, I'm not sleeping with them. Every single morning, good morning, beautiful, or like good night, or like checking in with me. Like, I need like a pseudo relationship.
So all the guys out there who right now have
get,
a,
like,
have a
good
crush
morning
on
texts in the
you,
morning.
DM you every single morning. Good morning, gorgeous.
Yeah, no, I feel like people who try and shoot their shot on Instagram, like I don't reply enough. They just know that it's not, they just stop sometimes. But
If a guy messages you for 6 months every single day, good morning,
I would
beautiful.
block his ass. That's weird. You need some hobbies, y'all.
That's funny.
Yeah. No, I don't know. Like, I think that it's weird. Like, I don't want to settle down with someone, but then I can't have casual sex.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
That's kind of interesting considering the fact that you do want to.
But I've also come to a point in my life where I don't have a lot of like one-off sex. Like, I'm not going to parties and hooking up with someone. I'm typically just like, I mean, if I'll do a little cheeky little makeout, but like if I want to see someone again and if I want to sleep with them, I'm taking them out on a date, or like they're taking me out on a date, or we're going out and doing something cute together. I'm not that like hook up the night of girl anymore. I've had a phase in my life where I did that. But now it's more just like me growing up and kind of.
So would you say Ben is your best sexual experience you've ever had?
The thing is, it wasn't even the sex. No.
Who's the best sexual experience you've had? You don't have to name. It could be a random name, but just put it in context.
I don't think I've ever had one.
You've had multiple ones. There's not a single person that comes in mind.
I think of like if I was. It's just more of like a scenario situation thing where, say like the stars were aligned and you had like an amazing date with them that night, and then like everything was going right in your career. Everything was like say if you got like a bunch of A's on your transcript in college, or like, and it was just one of those days, and then you were just vibing with that person and you had sex and it was really good. Like, it's I don't think that good sex is purely just physical. It's more like, is Mercury in retrograde? Is like
Sure. I mean, for some people it is.
What constitutes as good sex though?
I would say chemistry and pheromones.
Interesting.
Personally,
Yeah.
I would say chemistry has a lot more to do with it, and also the person knowing what they're doing.
Multifactorial.
I've had like a couple of very just traumatizing sexual experiences.
Really?
Have you ever had any bad sexual experiences?
Yeah, of course.
The size matter.
No.
Okay, size does not matter.
No, and honestly, okay, so this is the juicy little bit I'm sure you love. I've hooked up with someone with a micro penis.
Okay.
I was like 19 or something at the time. It was a while ago. And this guy, like on paper, he was so handsome. He had his life together. He had like a big house, like cars, good job. And so he just seemed like the perfect catch, and he was crazy good looking. And, he took me out on dates, and then we ended up going to hook up. And I mean, it was like an inch or something.
Oh, no.
It was really small. But it's weird because the human vagina, the female vagina, not gender specific. I'm trying to be, PC here, but it has a lot of nerve endings on the outside of it. So it doesn't necessarily feel good. Like, I think that talking about penis size is sort of similar to like body shaming. Like, there's nothing you can do about that. Like, if you don't want a small penis in your life, whatever, fine, that's you, girl. But like, or guy, but or they, them. But yeah, like, penis size does not matter.
Well, I suppose it's not. I don't think any guy, at least for me, is like we don't particularly look at it as body shaming. I'd say that guys mostly want to know if somebody does have a small penis, right?
But how small is small?
Well, you said micro.
Yeah,
it worked out for him, I'm assuming. Are you suggesting that it wasn't bad with him?
I mean,
sex? Or it was?
I was really mature at the time. I didn't know how to handle that, so I didn't see them again. But I was 19. That's young,
Sure.
I didn't know how to process that properly. Yeah. Looking back, like, whatever, small penis. But like, there's a lot of things that can, like, okay, but is like it like skinny, or is it like short, or is it like both?
Right. Well, I suppose that's when it comes. down to it is what you're saying right now is like, now I've realized that size doesn't matter, but when you were younger, it did.
Yeah,
Right?
I think when I was younger, I think my girlfriends are like, "Oh, he's got a big dick," and that was like the thing people talked about.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess maturity has a lot
Yeah.
to do with it. But
I
I
would
guess
much rather if they have a good personality and they're wholesome, and like I think love is about how you feel with somebody. If they make you feel absolutely beautiful every single day and you don't need to question anything when you're with them, that is true love.
So I guess when it comes down to anything physical, size, height doesn't matter, how big or small
But what
the
about
guy
boobs?
is.
Like, I'm gonna turn this back on you. Like, what do boobs matter to you? Like, can there be such a thing as too small boobs?
No. Okay.
Okay.
I'm an ass guy.
Okay.
So that does, yes.
Okay, so there can be such a thing as too small of an ass?
Yes. If you have a flat
I don't know.
ass, I
What
cannot
about
be.
vaginas? Like, what if it's like, is there ever a time where you slept with someone it was like too loose and you didn't feel it? Is that a thing?
No. The looseness has never been a thing for me. I think the way that it looks, I mean, I'd say I've been fortunate if I've ever been with anybody who's ever had unattractive vagina, I suppose. I don't remember
What
it,
makes
but
a vagina unattractive?
some people are attracted to certain types, and some people are attracted to certain other
Like
types.
what? Like
I mean,
the labia? I don't know. Like what? Makes...
I don't know the words. I'm not really familiar. But my my research on that end is not.
I don't know. Maybe
not very
I'm more
much.
like I'm not so picky when it comes to personality, but like if the personality comes with a weird looking dick, I'm fine with it as long as it feels good. No,
Yeah.
I will not go near a smelly vagina or a smelly dick. I'll tell you that much.
Smell is like a massive
like a
thing
thing.
for me.
Yeah, yeah.
I cannot.
I'm
like,
glad we agree on this.
I have a very sensitive.
Same here.
Yeah. Sense of smell, and I think that if somebody like odor, just
Yeah.
it
It needs to smell like soap.
I mean, good.
Yeah.
Or clean,
Yeah.
at least. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
That's clean, synonymous with soap. Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, there is no shame in like going for a quick little shower if you're hooking up with somebody and you like, I don't know, you don't feel good. Just go to the gym. I mean, go to the gym.
Let's go to the
I don't know
gym.
why. I was thinking after you went to the gym.
That'll
I was
work.
in my head, and I was just go to the gym. Do bail out of them. No, I was in my head. I was thinking like if you came back from the gym or something.
Right.
No, I mean, yeah,
Shower.
just go for a little quick shower. Even if you're like right about to stick it in, or like they're about to go down on you, and you're like, oh, like let me just go shower quick.
Well, this is an interesting actually question. So if a guy, let's say a guy goes out to, let's say a guy is like supposed to go on a date with you and he's busy, right? And he's running around all day, finally catches up to the, like, shit happens.
You better have some deodorant. Do an Italian
No,
shower.
but let me.
Like, you
Okay,
better
yeah.
be
So
spritz,
here's the
spritz,
thing.
spritz.
He's trying not to cancel or like push the date. He gets to the date, okay. But as far as like he's sitting, he doesn't smell. He's fine. Blah blah blah. Okay, so he's good so far. One thing's led to another. He goes back to your place.
Okay.
Can a guy ask you to go shower before you have sex?
Yeah, he can. That's
Okay.
sexy. Like, yes, daddy. Go get clean. Oh, yeah. Please use my shower. I'm glad you find me amusing.
It's just funny the way you said it.
Okay, so what's the deal with daddy? Is that like weird or hot? Like, I think it's.
I think it's hot.
Okay, I think it's hot calling someone daddy, like, for fun, like, outside of the bedroom. Sometimes it's a bit weird when you say it in the bedroom. I'm one of those girls.
It's funny when you say it in the bedroom.
No, for me, I like it weird out. Like, if someone wants the daddy kink in the bedroom's, like, a little weird to me. But, like, outside of the bedroom, I'm definitely calling my boy a daddy.
That's funny. That's hilarious.
But if he's like, oh, like, daddy wants you to do this, I'd be like, what the fuck?
Are you into sex talk?
Yeah, like I am with, like, when I get comfortable with somebody, for sure. Definitely. Just like, even when you haven't seen your partner in a little bit and you just like get all sexy on the phone with them. You know, you're like, oh, what's that? You know, like that. I love it.
Sure.
It's fun. It's fun. I apparently have a good porn voice, so it's my ex-partners have told me. Yeah.
Do you watch porn or not?
I don't watch a lot of porn. Like, I maybe watch it like twice in a year. And if I do, it's like girl directed, like for women lesbian porn, or like
Right.
or like really romantic ass shit. Do you watch porn?
Yeah. I mean, not often, but
I think you can desensitize. Like, I think a porn addiction is like a thing. Like that is, there needs to be more awareness about watching too much porn, and like conflating. Like, you in porn, you never see like awkward fumbling around, or like unable to get the bra clasp undone, or like weird angles, or like pulling your like thigh muscle, or struggling to get the condom on. Like, you never see all those like little real bits of life. Like, it's very much a fabricated way of like, and then the whole like, a lot of like porn is like very much made for men, like coming all over a girl's face and stuff. Like, for me, that's, I just don't think it's realistic and romantic.
well, I suppose some of the porn is made not to be romantic, and then some porn is made to be romantic.
Yeah, like,
right?
I watch like the real romantic shit.
As real as it gets, I suppose.
100%, yeah.
Do you care if the guy you're with watches porn?
I think if he watches too much porn, it kind of weirds me out.
Do you care if a guy who you're with watches porn while you're having sex?
Ew, yeah, no, I don't know.
You
like,
don't want
like,
that.
I'm like, I would think, like, what the fuck's wrong with me? Like, why? Well, like, am I not enough? You got to see.
You will take that
naked...
personally.
I will, but I've never had anybody. Actually, my ex-fiance, he at one point, he's like, well, why don't we like watch some porn to like spice things up and do what they do? And I was like, like, we tried it. I was just so not about it. Yeah, I don't know. I've never had that issue. I think like. I like going for the kind of guys who aren't like super keen on porn. Like, they just, you know, they're totally just okay, like sleeping with me, like
one of the girls,
like Netflix on or something.
One of the girls who was on this episode actually talked about how the guy she was with could not ejaculate.
No,
during sex.
He needs like
he only could
while watching porn.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what I mean. Porn like can sometimes disrupt the natural flow of like, you know.
I think you just personally had issues, but
I've never had issues with it. No,
right.
Well, actually, when I was young, I went on a porn site and I watched it, and I got like mortified what they were, because I came across some bad porn, and it was just really uncomfortable. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just very much like I don't think that anything about sex should have like a screen, you know, like it should be just two people, like maybe like some good music, and like, I don't know, like maybe a glass of wine, or like a little bit of weed or mushrooms, or
I love music during sex.
Yeah,
that's like a big thing for
like
me.
little things like that, like very organic. Like, you don't need to have some girl getting railed by like a big black guy. Like, it's a I know that's not all porn, but I mean, and like the dicks in porn are so big, like it's
I mean,
I'd be looking at it being like, what am I doing with this guy? Like,
right.
You got to keep me around, don't play porn.
Looks versus personality versus money.
Probably, well, I mean, personality trumps
Are you just
everything.
saying that?
I mean, listen,
are you saying that to be nice?
I mean, I have dated someone who had money, and it was a secure relationship for me, and a certain lifestyle that I wanted was there. And parts of his personality turned me off of him. And I was younger at the time, and I stayed because I'm like, oh, but this is like a really good lifestyle. So yeah, like money helps. Like, if you have enough money to pay the bills and you're not stressing and you're not providing for your partner, then yeah, like money's good. But I mean, money will only take you so far. Like, personality is what locks somebody in and makes them want to make breakfast for you in the morning, makes them want to like snuggle next to you, you know, and actually genuinely want to let their souls connect to yours, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I do know. I think my issue ultimately is that a lot of people say that because it sounds like a
I mean, despite everything I said, I am a romantic at heart. So,
but I think ultimately a lot of people just think that that's what they want. But really, when it comes down to it, I think looks and money do trump personality a lot of times.
oh yeah, no, for sure. Like you could 100%, you could 100% if you have like not so good looks, but you have like a dope personality and lots of money, you're getting girls. Or if you've got really good looks and lots of money, you're getting girls. Like,
But if you don't have money and don't have a good looks, but you have personality, you're getting none.
no, I think even guys who like it all like guys know what they're carrying. They know what they're hitting with. One of our friends, like he might not be the richest guy, but his personality is dope and he slays. He gets so many girls. I'm a broke student. Like I get girls probably because of my personality. Can we talk about that for a minute? Like I have been harassed by drunk girls. I don't know what it is, but girls think that just because I'm another girl that they can come up and like totally sexually harass me. Like I mean, like like bad.
So yes, that has happened to me, multiple times.
Yeah, drunk girls.
Yeah, like girls have grabbed my ass, grabbed my dick.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it happened.
It's not
multiple
okay.
times.
It's not okay. Just because you're a guy or I'm a girl, it doesn't mean girls can, And then, but lo and behold, if a guy did it, everybody in the club would be like,
sure, yeah, freaking out. I think neither way is okay. However, I do think. Personally,
if you liked it, is it okay?
Huh?
I'm kidding. That's not appropriate. Is anything on here appropriate at this point?
It's anything you want to say. I think one of the things that does happen though, as a guy, you do see. I mean, personally, I think of it as a little bit of a compliment. My ego gets stroked. When that something you got
a lot of strokes going on. Hey, you got your dick stroked, your ego stroked. Holy Hannah.
Good one. And obviously I can't speak for other guys. And again, it's not okay in any shape or form. I'm just saying at the moment when it happens, I don't think to myself, I was sexually harassed.
Right.
That's not the first thing that comes into my mind.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what the difference is between guys and between girls is that, and I think another part of it is a lot of it happens more often to women than it does to men.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Like I had a terrible couple experiences. I remember one time I went to Vegas and I lost some of the friends I was with and I was walking around on the dance floor looking for them and I got groped so many times it was really uncomfortable.
Yeah. And it's just not okay, like for men to do that, and not to mention, I don't really understand the purpose. I understand if somebody's drunk or
No, you get hot girls. Like you don't understand that purpose because you don't have a lack of inflow coming to you.
But again, it's just but that doesn't do anything though. Like grabbing somebody's ass randomly who you've never met. Don't know, like what do they expect the girl to do? Like turn around and be like, "Oh my god, thank you so much for grabbing my ass." Like,
I don't know. That's like a whole
it.
other question about the patriarchy and what made it okay for guys to do that, and et cetera, et cetera. Like that's a whole other can of worms. That sort of.
I guess I want to find a culture that's acceptable in, or I want a group of women who think I want to find a group of women who think that that's okay or attractive. You know what I mean? Because then that will sort of explain.
I think there is girls who think that's attractive and they're like, oh, that guy's getting what he wants. Like, I don't know. I think it's a
Have
thing.
you ever met somebody who said that? I've never met a single person who said that.
No, but I just understand that like there are weird people out there in the world.
It's just got to be such a small percentage of people that like I still don't understand like how men came about thinking that that's okay.
I don't think the thing is I don't think they thought about if it's okay or how the girl would feel. They're just being selfish. Yeah. They're like, I don't care if this person feels uncomfortable.
All right. Last but not least, I'm assuming that you care about zodiac signs.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Not too much?
No, I do, but I don't let it like control my life. Like I don't look at my horoscope every day, but there are some like traits that I see in like Tauruses or Scorpios or Leos or fire signs or air signs or stuff when like Mercury's in retrograde and all that stuff. Like I do believe that there is something there. But what's your question?
So, well, I guess that was if you believe it or not. So if you go on a date and somebody says,
oh my God, yeah,
their
like
sign is,
yeah, like if he's Gemini, like I know we're gonna have fun and we're gonna be like friends. Like I hung out with this person and I could just tell, and I asked him, I was like, are you Gemini? Like I just can tell when other people are Gemini. It's a whole thing. Yeah. And then also like I resonate a lot with earth signs because I'm a fire or I'm an air sign, and I'm like very free spirited and yada yada, but then I like people who ground me in a sense. It's weird. It's like a whole thing. It's yeah, I do believe in it.
What's your no signs?
I don't know. I think like Leo, I just don't really resonate with Leos. A lot of like winter babies I don't really resonate with. I'm more of like a summer baby person. I feel like I'm nixing like half of the population right here. I'm like, can't hang out with you. No, but Tauruses a little bit. Sometimes I don't get along with Tauruses.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know.
Interesting. Cool. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, absolutely.
I feel like this is gonna bite me in the butt one day. But
no, I don't think so. I think it's been
through some shit. I apologize for whoever I offended unnecessarily.
I don't think
I'm a nice person, I swear. I'm Canadian.
See, that's another issue. I feel like the society has become so
PC culture, cancel culture.
Not just that. I mean, the cancel culture is just like out of control, but everybody's so sensitive to everything. You know, just like as if like nobody can have an opinion for themselves anymore. You know, it's kind of crazy to me. But yeah, I don't. We don't give a fuck about these things here. Our show is just truth, reality, and giving people the option to think for themselves.
Please don't judge me too hard.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're totally fine. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. And thank you so much for watching and listening. Your support means the world. So please like, subscribe, and share. And as always, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and we'll see you on the next episode of Unattainable.